In our discussion related to India and ASEAN, yet another interesting topic is RCEP and India's interest. RCEP, that is Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. RCEP, and what is India's interest and what is India's role right now, or are we joining or not joining? That is the discussion I would like to make in this topic. Now, this RCEP, see, in fact, this Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, what is it? It is a proposed free trade agreement. It is a proposed free trade agreement between 10 ASEAN countries plus 6 countries who are having a free trade agreement with ASEAN right now, that is plus 3, China, Japan, South Korea, then plus 1, as you know, it is India, then plus Australia and New Zealand. So 16 countries, so 10 ASEAN countries, then 6 states having existing free trade agreements with ASEAN, they are Australia, China, India, Japan, South Korea and New Zealand. So total 16 countries are going to be involved in this proposed free trade agreement. In fact, this free trade RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, negotiations started in 2012 in the ASEAN summit at Cambodia. The Cambodia summit, they started. In fact, at that time, there is another free trade agreement negotiations were going on involving US, that is called the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP. So this RCEP was seen as a counter to TPP, and in fact in TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, China was not involved, or rather they deliberately kept China outside. The US did not want China to be there. So, and Japan was there, US was there. So this Trans-Pacific Partnership, when this negotiation started at that time, RCEP was initiated and China had great interest to counter this, or rather to have an alternate model. So that is how this RCEP and TPP were in news at that time. So TPP was concluded, but unfortunately US subsequently walked out of it when President Trump came to power. He walked out of it. TPP was signed in 2016, but unfortunately in the US walked out later on. I will talk about Trans-Pacific Partnership in another video. So in 2016, this if you count that way, if you look at that way, this 16 countries add up to almost 3.4 billion population. This is, in fact, RCEP is the largest free trade agreement. It will become the largest free trade agreement in the world with 3.4 billion people. Almost half of the population of the world will come under this, because you have the entire ASEAN countries, you have India, you have China, Japan, all are populous countries in the world. One of the top populous countries in the world. So, and the combined GDP in 2016 was around $21.4 trillion. The combined GDP is of $21.4 trillion, and which is almost, if you don't want to go by that exact figures, it is almost 30% of the GDP of the world. We can say RCEP members account for almost 30% of the GDP of the world. So naturally it's a huge one, and the target was to complete this RCEP in 2017 itself, but unfortunately we could not complete. The negotiations are still on, and recently in 2019 India expressed her inability to join it in the present context. So things are in a bit of flux. The final agreement has not come. So the aim was that it's not just a free trade, this RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, it is much beyond a free trade agreement. It included not only there would have been a liberalized trade in goods, not only in goods, it would have involved in services, proper agreement in terms of services, investment, then technical cooperation, intellectual property, then dispute settlement, etc. So, this would have been a comprehensive agreement, dispute settlement, etc. Includes a free trade in goods, services, investment, technical cooperation, intellectual property, dispute settlement, etc. So, all these, that is why it is called a regional comprehensive economic partnership agreement. So, it is much beyond a free trade. See, normally free trade deals with only goods and goods, not even services. So, here we are talking about investment, intellectual property, dispute settlement, all aspects are included in it. And these are, it would have been a minimum of 30 and at least 40% of the global trade. This RCEP will account for, so 30% of the GDP and 40% of global trade. FTA or other, this would have included 40% of the global trade. And also, it would have been, as I said, it would have been the largest free trade zone in the world, and it would have been almost 26% of the global FDI inflow, 26% of global FDI, foreign direct investment in this region. Almost 50%, I have said almost 45 to 50% of the population of the world. So, it would have been the largest free trade agreement and zone in the world if RCEP is successful. So, India is an active member in the negotiation. We already have a free trade agreement with the ASEAN countries. We already have a comprehensive economic partnership with Japan, with South Korea, but except China. The only issue is we don't have a free trade agreement with China, or we are not even negotiating with China for that matter. So, that is how the RCEP negotiations are on. So, it is not been, it's a proposed free trade agreement. It is not just free trade, it includes much more than the trade in goods. So, that is why it is called the RCEP. And there are certain concerns of India, it is yet to be addressed. That is why there is no agreement. So, what are the concerns of India? Yet to be addressed, because of which India has almost walked out of the whole thing. First of all, we are very, and our concern is opening up of our economy for the cheap goods of China and South Korea. We know that, or the fear is, if you open up, if you join RCEP, India will be flooded by goods from China and South Korea. Then, number two, how, or India's concern is, since our weakness is in the manufactured goods, our weakness is in the agriculture sector, our strength is in the service sector. So, we want these countries to open up for services from India. So, India should have a better, I will say, access to these markets as far as the service sector is concerned, the tertiary sector is concerned. So, we are negotiating hard, and we felt that we are not getting enough in the service sector in lieu of opening up the manufacturing sector. So, our concern is how more opportunity for Indian in the service sector in these countries. So, second issue is that. The third issue is we have trade deficit. Out of the 16 countries, out of the 15 countries, with 11 of them, 11 countries, India has trade deficit right now. So, naturally, we are, and when we open up through RCEP, the trade deficit will widen only because our strength is not in the manufacturing as well as in the primary sector, in the agriculture sector. Then a fourth point is of concern. So, how to reduce the trade deficit is a concern for India, and also another big issue which I said earlier also, India is the only country in the whole in this RCEP having no free trade agreement with China. and we are not willing to negotiate also. So India has no FTA with China, and we are quite skeptical about the Chinese goods flooding Indian market. And also we are also demanding, New Delhi is demanding differential tariff for its trade with China with others. So because of the problem with China, what we were asking was that there should be a differential tariff for Chinese goods. Differential tariff for Chinese goods, which China is not willing, or ASEAN is, or when RCEP is not, the participating countries are not willing for Chinese good. Differential tariff for Chinese good, which is not acceptable to China. And one more point India was insisting was the issue of origin of the country of origin. Country of origin for the goods. In fact, a Chinese good, suppose imagine a Chinese good manufactured in China, but exported to, say, Cambodia, and from there only change in the name of the the made in change, or the change in the name only, and if it is exported into India, so it is indirectly routed through, say, Cambodia. So India was insisting that there should be proper tagging of country of origin on all products, which the rest of the RCEP members were not so willing. So India insisted that there should be proper tagging of country of origin, which is not acceptable. And the another big point I would like to say is that the biggest worry in India was from the steel sector, because China has huge surplus, then aluminum sector, then copper, textiles, pharmaceuticals, etc. So in all these industries were really worried about an influx of cheap Chinese dumping in India. So that is why we finally refused to sign, or rather the negotiations are prolonged, and finally this RCEP has not come into being till now, and negotiations are on. So maybe anytime it can happen, but after the pandemic, the corona pandemic, how things will shape up, we don't know right now. So the world is going to be different. World is going to be different after the pandemic is over. So naturally, what will happen to the RCEP negotiation, time only will tell. So as and when some progress is there, we can always look into that. Right now the situation is India has refused to join it. So RCEP is yet to happen. So it is only a proposed free trade agreement between 10 ASEAN countries and 6 FTA partners, total 16 members in this region. And India is yet to join and yet to come into force.